Hello students, this is Poonam here. Welcome to my YouTube channel Poonam's Pulse. Today I'm here again with one more new lesson, Lesson 8, The Little Bully from your Marigold textbook. So let's move ahead. Once upon a time, not so very long ago, there was a small boy called Harry. Although he wasn't very big, he was strong and he loved to tease all the boys and girls who went to school with him. What he loved to do most was to pinch. He could make a big bruise appear in half a second. Another trick he played was pricking people with a pin. Here, bruise means an injury by blow to body. It is an injury caused when you pinch somebody. Generally, it appears in the color blue and black. So you can guess how all the children hated him. They tried pinching him back. That was no good because he could always pinch harder. They didn't like telling their teacher because that was like telling tales. It so happened that the class went for a picnic to the seaside for a whole day. All the children were most excited. So Harry is a bad boy here. He is a bully. He always troubles the other kids by pinching and pricking them. The class decides to go for a picnic. Now let's see what happens in the picnic. That day, the sun shone bright and all the children were wild with excitement. They crowded into the train and sat down. But nobody wanted to sit next to Harry because he always pinched. So, see what happens if you pinch and prick children or you pinch and prick your friends. Nobody wanted to sit near him in the train. Nobody wanted to be friends with him. When they arrived at the seaside, out jumped all the children with a shout of joy. Down to the sands they raced, hand in hand. But nobody took Harry's hand. Nobody went near him. Harry was angry. He went to a sandy corner near a rocky pool and sat down by himself. He took out his lunch and looked at it. It was good lunch. So Harry was feeling very lonely. Nobody was playing with him. Everybody was enjoying all by themselves. So Harry went on the beach, sat in the corner, looked at his lunchbox and started to have his lunch. There were 2 hard-boiled eggs, 6 jam sandwiches, 3 pieces of bread and butter, a ginger cake, a bar of chocolate. He would eat it all by himself. He wouldn't offer anything to anyone. So yummy lunch in his lunchbox. There were sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs, ginger cake, lots of lunch to enjoy, but he preferred eating it all by himself. He was not ready to share with the other kids. Just as he was beginning to do the eggs, he heard a hoarse voice near him. "Good morning. I am so pleased to meet a boy like you." Harry turned around and stared in fright. Whatever do you think he saw? Harry was very scared. He heard a hoarse voice. What is the meaning of hoarse? Hoarse means rough and deep sounding. It's a rough and a deep sound produced. So the rough and the deep sound started speaking to Harry, and he told him, "Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you." Harry saw a monster crab walking sideways out of the pool. His eyes were on the ends of short stalks, and he looked most queer. He held out his front claw to Harry. Harry put out his hand to shake the crab's claw, but to his surprise and anger, the crab opened his pincers and nipped his hand so hard that the little boy yelled. Here, stalks means main stem, pincers means gripping tool, and nipped means pinched. So, as Harry turned around, he saw a huge monster, and it was a huge crab. Harry took out his hands to shake hands with him, but to his surprise, he nipped him, he pinched him with his pincers. Harry was pained and he shouted in pain, "Ah, here is my good cousin," said the crab pleasantly. And to Harry's horror, he saw a large, sandy lobster crawling heavily out of the pool. Before the little boy could stop him, the lobster took his hand in his great pencil-like claws and pinched it so hard that Harry yelled in pain. Now, as Harry looked around, he saw a giant lobster here, you can see, come out. So first it was the crab, and now it is the lobster. Both of them took Harry's hand and pinched it really very hard. Harry was in a lot of pain. He was yelling, shouting, and crying. Then he stared at the pool in surprise, for out came sandy-colored shrimps and prawns, more crabs, and another large lobster. And they pricked Harry till he was soon black and blue with their pinching. So there were so many sea animals all coming out of the sea to meet Harry. We had shrimps, prawns, crabs, lobsters, and they all came and pinched Harry so hard that his hand was black and blue. Harry was again crying, yelling, all in pain. He was in tears. Here you can see the picture of a prawn. "Don't you like it?" said all the creatures in surprise. "Why, we were told you would love to see us because you were a champion pincher and pricker yourself. Come, join in the fun." So the lobster, the prawns, shrimps, everybody started speaking, talking, and joking around with Harry that Harry was a champion pincher and he should be glad to meet them. Here you can see the picture of a lobster. This is how a lobster looks. Harry leaped his feet, crying loudly. His lunch rolled into the pool, and when the crabs and lobsters saw it, they ran to it and began to feast eagerly. Harry saw that they had forgotten him for a time, and he turned and ran for his life, tears streaming down his cheeks. Harry was in a lot of pain. The lobsters, the crabs, they all pinched him. His lunchbox fell down. So all the sea animals headed towards his lunchbox and started eating it. Harry took advantage of the situation. He ran off to save his life, with tears rolling down his cheeks. He was in a lot of pain. Here you can see the pincers of the lobsters and crabs. They are very sharp and very painful in case they happen to pinch you. if they only did it to me, what I keep doing to the other children, he thought. But how it hurt, and how I hated those crabs and lobsters. I suppose the other children hate me too. Well, I jolly well shan't pinch or prick any more. Harry sat down in a corner, trying to escape and save from the crabs and the lobster, and he kept thinking how the children hated him, because he too pinched and pricked them really very hard. And now he learned the lesson that as you sow, you reap. Finally, Harry decided that he will never pinch or prick any child, never cause pain to anybody. He will share his things and be friendly towards others. Thank you very much for joining in the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a valuable lesson to share and care for others. Let's meet again in some other lesson, all in my journey. Bye-bye.